All right, rant time.
I hope you guys have had popcorn,
because we're gonna go for a while on this one.
you guys.
Don't worry, I'll cut it up into 2 videos.
Yeah.
One with a rant, one without a rant.
There you go. He's gonna cut up 2
There
videos.
you
So
go.
if you guys need to take a break, go home and probably go to work or something. You'll catch that second half. So
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Ready.
All right.
Okay, let me start this off. Fuck the Die Ranger appearance because 1, that series is one of my favorite series, and you guys didn't even give it a fucking name. All right. Okay, so where do I begin? Okay,
You're starting very light, but I'm happy because when we get to the heavy stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the heavy stuff because that's gonna be like us two like going at it.
Right.
But okay, you include the Die Ranger, who you don't explain their powers, you don't explain their motif, you don't explain their symbol that is very easily explained. Heck, I'm gonna say something here, and no, I didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement for this, so I can say it anyway. In the script that I read to audition for this season, they were called the Star Rangers. And I knew they were the Die Ranger because it was literally the script ripped from the episode where Silver meets one of the previous Die Rangers. I think it was Die Red. And they called them Star Rangers, honestly. And maybe they'll call them that later. But
in the marketing.
Yeah,
in the toys.
In marketing and toys and shit. But they couldn't say, like, Gosei couldn't just like come up and say, "This is the Star Ranger team."
Oh, you mean the motionless light show?
Oh, yes, the light bright on the wall. But, you know what?
The dude is a light bright.
But
he absolutely does nothing but blink.
Yeah.
Like, that's your fearless leader. He blinks and he talks to you. No, in fact, we don't even know where the vocal cords or the
it's stuck in the wall somewhere. It's a wire. It's a wire in the wall. But
I feel like those toys when you're little, when you put your face in it and it sticks there. I think that's what happened to him. Like he all of a sudden he's like, "Bah!" and got stuck, and you're like, "I can't get out of here, Zordon. Can you help me?" Zordon's like, "Look, man, I got 5 teenagers with attitude. I got teenagers with attitude." Not regular teenagers, with attitude. So I can't get you out of that wall. You got yourself in there.
You need to get yourself out.
That's why, and I have to add, that's why he's like, you know what? I can't get out of this wall. Let me build a horrible R2-D2 ripoff to take care of me.
Fuck that shit.
And scene.
But one of my major things about it is like you could have announced it in any other way, from them being the Star Rangers, from this is the team the White Ranger came from, or like, originated from.
Saban can't do that.
Saban can't. He can.
No, because according to the Mighty Morphing, which I remember, Zoran supposedly created that Ranger.
Yeah.
So that still would not make sense.
Well, like yeah, you're right.
So,
but you know what? Hey, you could have announced it in any other way. I would have at least. You could have fucked this up any more, but you could have at least left them with a goddamn name. Fuck me.
No.
That team was a kick-ass team too.
It is. Well, I've never seen.
Oh,
that
I'll
team.
show you this team. This team's awesome.
I'm sorry. I might watch it.
Yeah,
I might watch it.
I'll show you like the fight scene. These guys were like kick-ass.
Yeah, and one thing I gotta let your audience know is that even though I watched Gokaiger, I wasn't so in love with Super Sentai after that. Where I'm like, you know what, I gotta watch every Sentai after that. Actually, I haven't watched any after that. Yeah. So when I told you guys I'm really the average Joe, I really am.
Really the average Joe.
I'm like, I looked into it. I'm like, man, this is a great series, great written. But I'm like, this is it. I'm not really interested into what was the one right after Go Busters.
Go Busters or Kyoryuger.
Yeah. They didn't catch. They weren't my cup of tea. I'm not gonna say that they're bad. They just weren't my cup of tea. I didn't like the feel of it. But one thing I had to convey with you guys is, and I told Devin every single time, they never explain the pirate motif.
No, they do not.
On Super Megaforce. They never ever explain it. Never once even give a hinting as to why there are pirates there.
Nobody actually brings it up. Nobody asks, why are we pirates?
No, that. Because the thing is, and I was, once again, when we were talking about it, that, from Mighty Morphin to Zeo was really smart in their writing, where they said it's a completely new team. I mean, the people who watch Super Sentai know it's a completely new team, but, when it comes to Mighty Morphin, it's like, you know what? with new powers, you get new outfits, and you know this
the old
transition
power was lost.
Yeah, the old power is not as good to fight against this evil.
Oh no,
you know?
the power coins broke.
Right. But even if they did with Zordon and all that, even if you use the power crystals, oh no, they cover their story well enough to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You don't need that old power more. In fact, this power is appropriate to fighting these villains.
Yeah.
But this one, no.
Hell, that even brings up the question: why doesn't like Gosei even tell them about Power Rangers Zeo? Because at the end of that, they can fucking grow giant on their own. And that's another thing that's like all these powers that it's like you can have the powers of any of the Rangers. Really now? Let's pull up the Time Ranger and stop time and then beat the shit out of everybody. Let's turn giant with Zeo and then crush everything.
Can someone out there on the internet, I don't care if you're watching this show or if you skim by it and you're just like, oh, that's a good review, or Rant, or these two guys don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Can you please let me know where that cave is in the world?
Oh,
because apparently that has no like defense mechanisms. At least
anybody can walk in.
Yeah,
anybody can walk in.
Zordon's command center was up on a huge, I wouldn't say mountain. It was
like out in like the desert.
It was in the desert. It was hills. It was high up there. Yeah. And then he had Alpha. He had his own little awareness system.
Yeah, I mean, he had a force field on it too.
He knew when Zordon broke in. Like it was always like people. There was stuff going on.
Yeah.
In the
first episode, they're like,
"Were you
followed?"
And then they walk in. Followed. Like, were you followed? So, like that's something they have to worry about. Hey, man, were you kind of followed when you come in by here?
One of the Conans, one of the henchmen can just walk in, wreck the kick the little robot, and then beat the shit out of Gosei because he's just a face on a wall.
Yeah, I wish we went back to the Mighty Morphin days for one reason.
Yeah.
And by that, it's not because I want to time travel back. It's more the fact that, you know,
storytelling.
Storytelling wise, because Tommy, who was evil, said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna teleport in there."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, if someone was evil, I apologize, guys. If
the bad guys really wanted to kick their ass.
Yeah, but let's say if they do the whole Tommy storyline again, and be like, when the Rangers go evil per se, they wouldn't do it because it's not in the original footage. But he can just go in there, break that little glass that has all their keys,
steal them, chunk them in a bag,
and be like, you know what, you guys ain't transforming to nobody ever again.
No.
While in Super Sentai, it's like, yeah, you're not getting in here. In fact, it's in the main part of the ship in order to get to that.
And their ship is usually up in the sky somewhere.
Exactly. So you're talking about you have to go a little ways in order to get all those keys.
Yeah.
Bosco had a little bit of a hard time. He had to even strategize, I think.
Yeah, he had to strategize to get up there.
Not only to get up there, but to steal some of their keys and all that.
Because they can kind of just call them back.
Yeah, and Navi can just learn. Navi herself is like a...
There's the keys over there.
Yeah, she's like a wandering, a flying little defense system herself.
Yeah.
So if someone can let me know where that cave is, I'd like to go in there and see if I can have a conversation with the hole in the wall. And... You know, all these keys. Just, you know what? I'll leave some of you guys, some of those keys, whichever one you guys want. I'll stick to certain groups. I'll take 2 teams.
I'll take 3.
You know, I'll leave the rest for you
I'll take the Die Ranger keys. Those are mine now.
Because apparently that cave is super easy to access. Yeah. Like, it's a miracle how the Armada has not found that cave. Like, really,
no one followed them.
No, they have the ability to travel through space.
Yeah, they do.
But they can't freaking put a tracer on a Power Ranger and be like, oh, that's where you're at, or key signatures or nothing.
Oh, yeah. Especially the fact that, like, apparently they're running back and forth from the cave to wherever the hell they go, because they never ride in. They always,
Right.
Oh,
They don't teleport in either.
They don't teleport. It's just like they run.
Like I said, Power Rangers start themselves. They don't teleport.
Yeah. And so it's like, so when they go, were you followed? I was like, you guys really do just run in here, don't you? There's no like key card or anything. Just come on in, bro.
Yeah, they don't have ADT or some type of security system. They didn't hire any CTI or any of these groups. No. They, you know what? Brinks wasn't even alerted. I mean, anyone can go into that cave. So and on top of that robot, guys. Come on, I know this is from Megaforce because, like I said, bringing up to it, and I realized, okay, this is from Megaforce. This robot's been there. Really? You are supposedly the apprentice of Zordon, and you're telling me you cannot have created a better robot than that?
Hell, I would have even settled for another Alpha. Like Alpha, call it like Alpha 6. Bam.
I don't care. Have a different body design, but call them Alpha or whatever, you know. Yeah. Like, you're going to have a robot. Have something that actually has some hands. And...
The funniest thing is they brought Alpha back for Dino Thunder.
Did they really?
Yeah, for Dino Thunder, they find him like a crate, but they bring him back, and he helps out for a good episode.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, dude, if you, like, because Saban is on this whole nostalgia kick, bring fucking Alpha back. Or bring a version of Alpha back and call it like Alpha 7, because I think that one in Dino Thunder was Alpha 6. Yeah, okay. I don't remember. But, like, you know, just bring back... You could bring back Alpha in a new, sleek, modern design and just call him Alpha 6 or Alpha 7.
But they're not going to go ahead and do that.
No. That would make too much sense.
That would make way too much sense. And you know what, guys? There's a lot of easy stuff, which is why I hate Super Megaforce. There's a lot of easy stuff I was talking to Devin about, where they can make it very, very... streamline it and make it super simple. Like how Troy is getting cocky about, you know, when his fighting style, when he's Red Ranger. Simply, Troy can just say in his human form, you know what, I'm tired of the Armada. You know, now it's time for us to strike back. And that simple line that I just said right there a few seconds ago literally converts the whole attitude that he has from being, oh, we got to protect and save, to being, okay, now we're going on the offensive. And it correlates with the footage that they use, at least when they're Sentai, when they go Kaiju. Because that's how Marvelous is. He's not... brash, but at least he's a little bit more
confident.
More confident.
Yeah. Also, for another thing, the Blue Ranger, and I know somebody has said this to me, that, oh, the Blue Ranger is a little more serious now, and since he's a nerd, he can use a sword. You guys never established that he can use a sword. Like, literally, like he said, one scene of him just practicing fencing like this would easily just dispel why Joe has one hand behind his back and is fighting with a sword. It would easily just go, there you go, now he's a swordsman. Bam.
And that's why with Super Megaforce, there's a lot of, what upsets me very much is the fact that there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of easy fix. Very easy. Nothing that requires too much thought, nothing that if you just actually read it back to yourself out loud, you would be like, okay, I can, you know, just add this and it will make sense as to why black is now green, why blue is more confident now. I mean, just like I said a few seconds ago, and I mean, literally, if Troy, as the leader, says it's time to be on the attack, then as the leader, he will instill that confidence with everybody else, thus explaining why the Blue Ranger and Super Megaforce, he was nerdy, but now is more confident in his fighting ability. And, you know, green just... Well, it's kind of hard to describe Green because Green in
Gokaiger was a very jokey character. And honestly, you can even have like the dude from the Black Ranger from Goseiger kind of just go, you know, like, you know, he deals with this situation with comedy. You know, make him a bit more wacky, not completely wacky, but, you know, make him a bit more, you know, comedic. And a lot of people said, oh, they made him pretty. No, they didn't. No, he's in comedic situations. He himself is not comedic. Like I said, like some of the jokes were tolerable. Again, like he's in a frozen yogurt suit, and there's a cherry on top of his head, and he tries to look down, and it drops off his head, and it goes, wah, wah. He himself is not like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then like that, he's just like, hey guys, what's that? Oh, fuck. Cherry. Can you get that? Thanks. It, like, without the music itself going like, it's not a funny scene.
They have it's just huge morpher guys. They
I
mean, I've never seen Megaforce.
That's Gosagers.
I know, but I've never seen Megaforce, and so to me, when I saw that morph, I was like, wait, you guys are seriously contacting each other with
a big old ass pad of a face.
Oh, a face. And I'm like, really? Like, you guys have just say like we mentioned earlier, guys. Just say that, hey, those old powers, those Gosager or those Megaforce powers are obsolete. Just say we have to, in order to deal with this Armada, we have to take it to the next level. And just put Super Megaforce, put that as your default. Why? Because they're morphers
are fucking phones.
They're phones. So, I mean, you save yourself time and you can really, in public, just use it. You know, instead of like, secretive, let me hide it behind this guy's back and talk.
Which looks really suspicious in a mall.
You can just do it.
I mean, you could really, like, if anybody comes up and asks, like, hey, what kind of phone is that?
It's a Nokia.
It's a Nokia.
It's a Nokia.
It's a Nokia.
Just always say Nokia.
It.
Everybody will believe you.
Everyone's
Nokia's
like,
made the weirdest phones ever. So,
or just say, or even for a funny little nod to the Japanese or the Super Sentai,
say it to someone.
You could say, oh, don't worry. That phone looks a little weird. Oh, it's Japanese.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. That would be funny.
So, all right, guys. Okay.
All right. So,
I'm
gonna
get
heavy.
I'm gonna get heavy.
Go ahead.
We went light
for it.
Okay. So not only the power motif, but at the same time, you're talking about Gokaiger made absolute sense in everything they did.
Yeah.
You're introducing the Silver Ranger. Once again, I'm gonna repeat. How are you gonna explain the pirate motif? Out of all the suits, out of all of them, the silver is the most apparent that it's a pirate.
Yeah.
It has a big anchor on its top part of its helmet, and on top of that, you're talking about has a trident as
a main source of his weapon is a fucking trident.
Exactly. Now, how ridiculous is the best word you can be that in skipping ahead a little bit more forward to the Zord part, where in Gokaiger, when they turn the keys, a little spin comes in and says, "Let's go."
Yeah.
How ridiculous do you have to think of, hey, you know, we can't use that. It's in English.
It's in clear English font.
And it has absolutely zero to take away from your story, from any story you put. Any story.
Yeah.
You could put that they're chasing a leaf across the desert. That spin with "Let's go" has absolutely nothing to discredit that mission that they're on.
Yeah.
But they decided to take it off. Why? You guys let me know. I don't know. They also have many times where it's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and transform to super mega mode, and then transform to a legendary mode. Now, to cover themselves very well, this is why they did it. They said, you know what, we are limited in time and power. Gokaiger kind of says that on the DVD special, which if someone can link Devin to that full movie, I would love to watch it. But I know that in the Gokaiger, you can probably see on YouTube where it says a bright red showy part where you see that Captain Marvelous and Guy, they combine, I guess because of this gun, and then the whole point of this small little rant is the fact that Captain Marvelous explains that, hey, you went through all those reds, but that exhausts the power.
Yeah.
You know, you can go through all of them, but it will exhaust. So point is, you know, they cover themselves a little bit on it, but he went through all 34 Super Sentais before his power was drained.
Yeah.
These guys go through like 3 of them.
Like 2, actually.
And that's a
and
wrap.
It's like, oh, shit, that took too much energy, bro.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. They're not going to cover any of the good storylines.
No.
They could at least have adapted to make it more realistic for their footage. I'm thinking more in the production sense. They could at least tweak the characters' personality to save themselves time. All very easy stuff. I have too much. I have to, so I'm gonna let Devin run a little bit so I can recall the massive amount of crap that they messed up on.
All right. The Super Sentai footage is something that irks me tiresome. It's okay, when you're trying to mimic mimic footage, or even change it a little, because I told you this, and you were like, yeah, all they do to the Sentai footage is they kind of tint it a bit brighter, and then they go, totally new footage, right, guys? Fuck yeah. And of course, not only is it the bad fact that they keep talking over the fight scene and never let the fight play out the way it should. Here's another question. Power Rangers RPM. Again, established in another universe. How did these... Again, I even brought up the idea of the morphing grid being their source of power.
Actually, you should tell him because he told me. But
okay,
you should tell him.
Okay.
It's a really good,
I brought up a theory that, what if Gosei told them that this Super Megaforce power is actually linked to the morphing grid? Like, they are a connection to the morphing grid itself, so that they could feasibly grab from other powers, even if they're from across the universe, as long as they use the morphing grid. That would be able to explain away almost all the teams they turn into. Because if they turned into the Die Ranger, they could just say, that was a team from, like, across the galaxy. Because in Power Rangers in space, they said there were different Rangers on different planets. That is something they actually said and showed. You could have covered yourselves by saying, oh, the Die Ranger, that's the Star Ranger team. They're from a different planet. They're like from Saturn or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And when they did this, when they established, Saban established this. And of course, this is why I was like, use the morphing grid. Because no matter what, every single Power Ranger series uses the morphing grid. So them turning into RPM would be like, hey, how can they do that? RPM was established in Super Samurai to be in a different, complete universe. It is not in the same dimension as the original, or any of the other Power Ranger series that Saban has created. So if they use the morphing grid, yeah, they would know who RPM is because they have a connection to it. This one just says fuck it and has no rules. That's another thing I have. There are no rules to the there's no rules to the transformations nor the powers. We talked about this. This just happens. We made up the whole idea of an RPG element. Like you have to battle, and then bam, you mastered it. So, but without our theorizing, you would have been like, how the hell do they unlock anything? How do you
that was
do
completely comical. Just let you know, we weren't seriously thinking that they.
No.
But as the series goes more and more,
yeah, it's probably going to be true.
It's probably going to be true. I said that as a whim because it's really based on that. Where Gosei is it?
Yeah, Gosei.
Gosei is like, hey guys, you just unlocked this. Where in Gokaiger, it's like they need the blessing of the team.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more than that because they need that to open up the door to the greatest treasure of the universe. Yeah. It was a reason, guys. Yeah. There's a reason why not only that, but why Gokaiger was defending the universe. For it was in a way, they were in the beginning. It was selfish, 100%. They wanted the treasure, and as time passed by, they realized, hey, you know, this planet is more than just, you know, a treasure in here, and that's all. We gotta defend it. Yeah. You know, so the series, it was very well, I keep saying that, very well written to make you understand and make these aliens per se, you know, understand, hey, you know, there's a reason why you have to protect this planet. And those who already seen Gokaiger all the way through, spoilers, and just want to say that now in case a few seconds, I will tell you exactly why. You know, Aqua Red. Yeah. You know, that's the reason why.
For those who don't know, Aqua Red is the embodiment of all Red Rangers in the Super Sentai series. He's not in America.
Right. And so, you know, there's a reason why Aqua Red wanted Captain Marvelous to find all these, or rather to hold on to these powers, because the Earth itself not only holds the greatest treasure, but it's that's also a real interesting reason why he needed to protect it, and why there's so many Rangers and so on and such. So, you know, there's a stake at hand with the Gokaiger. In the American one, it's like, yes, you know, in a way there is, but when is this Earth never in danger?
Yeah.
This Earth is always in danger. There is always some monster, some prince, some, you know, somebody trying to attack this planet.
Hell, okay. With Gokaiger, you had everybody, in the beginning, they gave up their powers to defend the Earth.
Oh, good point.
Very simple explanation on, well, another threat? Come on, it always happens. But this time, there are no Super Sentai to protect them. Yeah. So, with that, you had, during, like he said, it was completely selfish in the beginning, but when they met different teams, they kept either egging them on to save the Earth, or would try to steal the powers back from them, because they're like, you're not going to use it to save the Earth, so
you're doing it for your own selfish reasons.
Yeah. But for this, for Super Megaforce, it's like, oh no, the aliens are here, but all the other Rangers are too. So there's no real reason to, because...
Wait, I'm sorry, he just made a really good point. Is Gosei a thief?
Yeah.
Because
where did the powers come from? Where did the keys come from? Because you have no...
Guys, this is you know, this is just something that just... He made a really good point. Is Gosei a thief? Because
Gosei's a thief.
All of a sudden, he took everyone else's power. That these people are actually in this Earth.
Yeah.
In that, not even that dimension, that Earth. Why are they not having their own powers? Because, I mean, he made an excellent point just right now. I didn't think about it, where... In the beginning, they all had to give it up, and so really, the Gokaiger is the only one protecting it. You know, so why is Gosei having these keys? Unless, you know, I think he got upset with Zordon. Remember that time? Yeah, he got upset.
He got upset. He left him in the wall.
Yeah, he left him in the wall with no way. I mean, you know, the guy has barely any internet connection. He's running on like 56K. Who knows? He's upset.
My number one thing about that... He doesn't
get to watch YouTube, you know, so...
He doesn't get to watch this video. But the funniest thing about that is, like, okay, you're later on, if confirmed, they are going to run into other Rangers. Why don't they give the other Rangers their powers back and go, hey, here you go, buddy, help us out. We'll have more people on our side to fight. I don't know if they're going to do that yet, but as of now, they haven't done that. Instead of, they could have said, okay, go say, leave us 5 different teams and use your power, or that little robot thing that apparently can move. It can move, but I don't know how far or how well. Just use it to go give the keys back to the previous Rangers so that they can have their power back. So they can help us out, so they can save more people. But none of this crosses their minds. None of this is ever brought up. It's just go with it. Just like the Power Ranger, the pirate motif, it's a just go with it idea. They'll question why the Black Ranger is now green, but they won't question, why are we now pirates? Why do we have a spaceship that is shaped like a pirate ship? And also, the Japanese can use a better word for the spaceship, for the flying pirate ship. They can use a better word. They call it the Gokai Galleon. And the galleon it's an English/Italian word, and it's a type of ship. There you go.
So what's it called in this one? I'm sorry.
It's called the airship. It's just called the airship.
So it's just called
the airship.
Really?
Yeah. It's
just the airship.
It's not, hey,
ingenious.
Go to the space galleon or something like that. Just like, and it's not, technically, it's not even an airship because it can go into goddamn space.
Wow.
Call it a spaceship.
Okay. So, this is the adult in me. I had to point this out. And this is an adult thing. But I told Devin about it, and you guys can rewatch it and kind of laugh at it too. But, I kept mentioning the previous review, maybe even earlier in this part in case we did cut it into, where there's a point of, suspension of disbelief. You can buy certain things because, like with Gokaiger, or even with Power Rangers, go with the American one. Yeah. You're like, okay, I like the show, I like the series. If you like something, you tend to kind of, sweep under the rug certain things like that's not true. Since apparently this season is not doing that well on it, I have no reason to give it the suspension of disbelief. And why are kids up in space with a lot of high pressure? And they're not only not breathing normally, but they're no need to have some type of cold sweater or jacket, because it's the higher you go up, the more colder it is.
Yeah, the episode ends. The episode 2 ends with them sitting on the Gokai Galleon. I'm gonna call it that because it's a better goddamn name.
Right.
They're sitting on the Gokai Galleon like the Gokaiger did, but the Gokaiger were aliens. Their physiology is different.
We don't know.
So we don't know their physiology. They can probably survive up in upper atmosphere.
They can probably swim underwater and breathe underwater. For all we know. We don't know. The reason why...
A very good excuse to why they could do shit.
The reason why I use that word, suspension of disbelief, because I'm like, they're aliens.
Yep.
That's it. They look human, but they're aliens. I can believe that. I mean, okay, they're in the water.
An alien, and he looks like an alien.
Exactly. So, that's why. But
these guys are established kids, normal human being kids, and there they are up in the upper atmosphere looking down like, isn't Earth so peaceful from up here?
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they go, wow, we did a great battle today, but the fight with the evil empire is not over yet. It would have been if you shot the ship when you were up there, you dumb son of a bitch.
On top of that, you could have brought your dad, which, spoiler alerts, he has a dad. I'm sorry, I should have said it before that, but spoiler, that guy is supposed to have a dad. Who knows what he's going to be played off as in the American one, but his dad in the Japanese version, the Super Sentai, that dude is super scary. I'm talking about that guy is like, I see that fight and go and research and just quickly in case you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And if I would recommend any one piece of footage to watch from Gokaiger, any one.
The final
battle is hands down the best fighting I've ever seen in. You know what? I'm gonna say this in Power Rangers and Super Sentai, and even for TV, for TV viewing, it's one of the best fights ever.
Yeah.
They go through many different morphs, and the announcer is so
eccentric.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He's eccentric. He's excited to say these names, and he's like, Die Ranger, All Ranger. And that's also something, and actually I'm glad I brought that up, because that's something where I feel like, the American version could have simply explain that word. You know, when they turned to the Die Ranger in the English one,
yeah.
they could have just said, you know, Star Ranger or something like that. Like even the American actors who are doing the voiceovers, they could have said like, you know, SPD emergency, you know, like RPM, where are they screaming for that?
They actually did for, like, that's the thing that kind of fucks me up because sometimes they'll say it and sometimes they just won't. Like, for SPD, they go, SPD, emergency, and then do it. Or, like, RPM, get in gear, and they'll do it. But for, like, other things, like, I remember the other one, it was, like, very first one when they did SPD the first time, they didn't say anything. They just went, let's go. And, like,
and the thing is, like, that's what made the Japanese one so well, where it's not even the group, the Gokaigers, they're not saying the name of the team. It's the announcer, and he sounds so excited. So and, you know, some people, you know, and that's also not 50-50. I use 50-50 because I know some people may not even like the fact that he's always announcing, but at least it cleared a point where the guy is telling you the team. So if you do like that team, you can just go and research it. Yeah. You know, find out more about it. But
heck, it actually came into really good play during that final battle because the changes were happening so quick that if you didn't know which team, you could like be like, wait, what team was that? I don't know that suit.
Like, thank God for the internet. Let me go back. Who was that suit? You know, like.
And then of course, if you had like the subtitle version, like I did, or like anybody who just speaks English and not Japanese,
or you can YouTube it now.
Yeah, you can YouTube it now. It actually like just had like every time he said something, it's like, there you go, that is the name. Go Google it. Yeah. That's the team they're going, and I understand them not using the announcer, and that's not a bad thing for me. It's going to be a change. It's going to be a change. But, God damn it. Half the time they don't say anything. Or, like, when you that's the main problem with this show. When I want them to say something, they shut the fuck up. But when I don't want them to say anything, they keep talking.
Very true. During the fights and what made the Japanese version, guys, we're not trying to beat it. We're simply stating... I like to call them facts. You guys like to maybe state opinions. But to me, the fact is that you know, the Japanese was really better. If you really sit and look through it and see the entire episodes, you'll be like, okay, there was better writing in Japanese. In the American one, they just didn't think it out, and it was all very easy fix, guys. That's what I think upsets me, is that it's all very easy fix. There's nothing too complicated, and these people are getting paid hundreds of thousands. I don't know their payroll, but you know, to write these scripts when it's all very simple. Yeah, and very simple fixes, and
that's actually what pisses me off the most too. It's like, yo, you guys don't have to. There are very easy fixes here, and I wouldn't mind it. Like, heck, if you like, I wouldn't mind you guys taking wholesale entire fight scenes because they're great fight scenes.
Right.
I would take them, but like, you know, I don't mind that as long as the story leading up to the fight scenes is worth following, and it's not at this point. Right.
And they talk too much during the fight scene. A lot of the great puns was horrible. A lot of the great stuff, and even, man, I don't know, as a kid, I think puns were too horrible. Like
puns are like the lowbrow of you.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I really feel like Saban is kind of treating kids like they're not as smart. You know, he's not giving them the credit of, I mean, I don't know, man, even as a kid, I was pretty smart with computers, and I use that analogy because, you know, nowadays kids are using iPads and phones and even better than the adults. So you can't think that kids are not as smart or not giving that much credit. Yeah. But the fighting, they talk way too much. What made Gokaiger good with the fightings that the fight itself spoke the atmosphere of what they were doing. When Red was blocking and he does the two shots, it lets you know the type of character he is.
Can I say something
real quick? Please, go ahead.
Any good fight scene worth its fucking salt can tell an entire story without any dialogue, just through a fight. Gokaiger did that insanely well. Every character, even if you go watch the American footage for Super Megaforce, every time they go Gokaiger, watch each Ranger. See how each one differs in fighting style. Even if Green doesn't have like the double blasters, even if he only has the gun and a sword.
He's silly all the time.
He's silly all the time. And the funniest thing is when they go SPD and they're doing their thing, watch the Green Ranger. As the Blue Ranger is like hitting him and runs past, the Green Ranger has his nightstick too. He hits him and then he goes, screw that, and switches to the gun. Because that's how he fights. The Blue Ranger, when he's so used to swords that whenever he has his sword in his gun, he puts the gun behind his back and doesn't use it unless he really needs to. The Pink Ranger will like block with the sword, but then shoot with the gun. Mm-hmm. Same with the Yellow Ranger. Yellow Ranger is a bit more of a brutish fighter. Mm-hmm. Red Ranger, super freaking confident. Like even like especially watch when the monster grows and look at the Red Ranger. Don't even look at everybody else. Just pause it because everyone else is like, oh, and he's just like, what?
He's like, oh, we gotta call.
Really, you're back? All right, fuck, kill him. Like, see, and there was like there's so much confidence, so much exuberance, so much character in each and every single fight scene that it is baffling that they don't try to match it with the characters, and that's pretty much why I always harp on the footage and the original stuff not meshing, because it's not that hard to actually match them up to a point where you get that sense of character even within the suits, and it's a very bad thing.
And the thing is, if you guys feel like, okay, you guys just bash them, take it as you want. I'm not gonna. I mean, of course, if I was in your shoes, I would feel like, or rather, I would see this as, oh, you guys are bashing on Saban and my morphing. But in actuality, the reason why, if you feel like that and not take it as a truthful observation, is the fact that this is easy fix. We would love to root for a good translation of this Power Ranger series because it was just so easy to fix. It really was simplistic, guys. I'm pretty sure you guys out there have easy ways, and you can write it on his comments. You know, easy ways of how they could have made it so it plays off of the footage. We're not asking to convert it to Gokaiger's theme of pirates and all that. But we're saying you could have easily explained a lot of stuff. You could have easily covered yourselves and explained the footage why Troy is now confident every time he's Gokai Red. Why green or blue. I'm sorry, I don't remember that name.
Who's blue?
Whoever. Why the nerd all of a sudden he's super confident and cocky when he's blue. Yeah. Gokai blue. That's where at least I'm getting. I'm pretty sure Devin feels like that.
No, I'm coming from there too, and especially when somebody said on my comment sections, I'm not really dogging you out and saying you're wrong. I'm just saying from my point of view, their fighting styles do not match. Blue and green's fighting styles do not match each other's. Not from the way they've transferred. Right. You go from black was a very close up. I have an axe. I'm gonna come up close to you and beat you over the head with it. I'm super strong, pretty much to pick up. Like that is established that he can only pick up his axe because it's really heavy. You go from the super strong character who goes really close up to fight to this character who's very goofy and not very strong and then hops back with guns. That's the Gokaiger switch. And I'm saying that doesn't match. And I can say, you can make the on-screen character, the one without the costume, a little more jokey, one who sees the more value in the blasters than the actual like close-up sword fighting. And you can have Blue going, wow, this threat is really powerful. Maybe I should
bring up my level, right?
Yeah, I got to bring up my level. I got to train more. Maybe, we're using swords. I'll learn the sword styles a lot better.
Pink is still in the human form a little bit more. I'm sorry, the American version is a little bit more to the Japanese, where
she's very soft-spoken.
Not as much as
passive, but like
right.
Very a bit more like. Of course, the Pink Ranger and Gokaiger is a bit more regal than she is.
Good choice of words.
But the pink and yellow pretty much match anyway. Like
they do. At least close enough.
Yellow definitely matches because. Actually, the funniest thing is in Ghost Sager and Gokaiger, Yellow is pretty much the same tomboyish type character. And they even make fun of it in the Sentai. Right, that matches. Heck, even Red, you can kind of just, even without changing it, you can kind of, like, suspension of disbelief, almost say, hey, he's just really pissed off.
I mean, if you're going to go with the whole Robo Knight thing where he's missing his best friend, like it was a puppy. Even
though his emotions and acting do not show it.
Don't show at all. I mean, you can display that, because, I mean, you want to talk about easy fix, guys? This is one of mine. You guys, once again, in the comment sections, just let us know. I'm sorry, not us. So let him know. To me, my simple one is, hey, he believes that Robo Knight is dead. Yeah.
And these guys took him from him.
Yeah, so he's got to turn the tables, and he's now got to be on the offensive. That right there, within 2 seconds, right there. That's it. Easy fix.
Easy fix.
Now he's on the aggressive, which will explain why when he's Gokai Red, why he's just going at it. instead of being in the seaside of some place and just, pondering off into the distance, where apparently no parent is looking for this kid, and apparently no school is calling.
And his friends are just like, oh, where is he?
Yeah.
Hey, let's look at this iPad again.
You know what would help? You know what would help finding out exactly where he is? If he had maybe, I don't know, like a mentor, like, I don't know, Zordon or even Gosei.
Or maybe if these communicators we have could locate him.
I know.
My favorite thing about that entire...
Can I add something on to that? Sorry, guys. This really bothers me that this kid in 2 episodes is off in a mountain or in a beach. Like, this kid has not gotten suspended from school or kicked out. His parents have never called. I mean this
alien
is kid stuff.
Yeah, alien attack decimates an entire city. Yeah. No parents worry about their children.
Right. and you know what? Even in Dino Thunder was it?
Yeah.
And Mighty Morphin, I'm still it's what I've been. I said average Joe here, but they were at school all the time, so there was no reason why the parents had to be called unless it was one of those goofy parent days where they was cheesy back then, but. This kid has been out of school for like a good long time. For like days on end, and he's off pondering what happened to Robo Knight. And in fact, let's add on to that. I had to bring this nail to the coffin. It's like he's wondering about Robo Knight, but all he's doing to locate this guy.
He's just looking where he last was.
Where
not even looking where he last was. Like if it was my friend,
searching.
No, he's not searching. If he is. When I say he's looking at where he last was, I mean he's literally. Looking. He is not searching. He's not looking for evidence. He's just, man, I remember when he fell right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I put too much emotion into that.
No.
Robo Knight, where are you?
Oh, yeah, that's his accent. Robo Knight. It was almost even a love type of guy. It was almost like, Robo Knight, where are you?
No,
and you're like, dude, he's your friend, and I'm thinking to myself, Devin or any one of my friends were lost. I'm like, okay, where was he last? From here, where can I start?
Get some evidence, find out
something. Did somebody take him? Call friends,
Yeah,
maybe call Robo Knight's pet dog. See if that thing has a voice message.
Ask if Gosei can even find out where his location is.
No, they covered that.
No, they covered that, but I mean, like. Still, like, hey, Gosei, what, is there anything that I can use to track him? Was there a certain
Since he has a database, apparently.
Yeah, he has a database on all the other Power Rangers. Why not the one who was just here?
Exactly.
No, but my favorite thing about that is, oh, fuck.
I mean, can I use Car Ranger or RPM to, like, super travel through the world to see if I can locate him?
Or,
you don't have to use that, but...
Or even... Use the Time Force powers, go back in time, and then look at, that's where he went. All right, cool. Or, like, my favorite thing about how this guy acts, and I know everybody's going to say, yeah, it's always been bad acting, but this was special. Because the way he said, where are you, for Robo Knight, was like, you didn't just lose a friend in a battle. No. You lost your friend in the mall, and you're calling up to go, hey, man, all right. Oh, you're at the food court. Okay, I'll be over there. All right.
one thing, and I'm sorry, they're gonna be like, you know what they're gonna tell you? Like, yo, man, your friend talks about Mighty Morphin a lot. I'm sorry, guys, I do because it's my reference.
Yeah, it's his reference points.
It's my reference points. I don't watch everything else, not even the Sentai. But at least you and you guys who do watch Mighty Morphin, and I like me nostalgia in that sense. You all remember when Tommy went bad, and then Kimberly. And that even got annoying, but I understood it. Like, Kimberly's like, we gotta save Tommy. We gotta say this. We gotta, he's good and all this stuff.
You're right.
And Jason, who was a little bit more hesitant on that, he's like, look, Tommy's gone to the dark side. We can't save him. Even Kimberly was always on it.
Yeah.
Why I bring up that example is because Kimberly was persistent, was trying to show that he's good and trying to get to the good of it.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Why wasn't the Red Ranger pissed?
In this one wasn't not only pissed, he was like... I'm trying to find them. I don't have time for this, Armada stuff.
Or like even
the other four can take care of it. No, he's just
hell. Even that would have actually been a really good character development. Like that would also explain why he's so ruthless in battle. Like Captain Marvelous is. He's trying to get this battle over with quick so he can go back to trying to find his friend and stuff like that. Again, very simple, easy fix that can be written in and then flow very nicely into everything.
But at the end of this episode 2, he's like,
I hope we'll find him soon. I looked on the beach for about 20 minutes.
Not only that,
he's good.
Not only that, but he's super confident he's alive.
Super confident he's alive. He doesn't know.
He's missing.
He's missing.
He's believing in that. He's believing that he's missing. He's not believing he's killed.
Yeah, he's MIA. Last time you saw him, he was lying on the ground, dysfunctional and probably dying.
Right.
But hey,
he's a robot.
Hey man, I hope we see him soon.
No, guys, that wasn't intentional. That was really like,
yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah, and then they post for their Calvin Klein models, and then they end.
That was bad.
Oh God,
guys.
And we're not trying to hate on it. It's just this stuff is not well written. It's even if I didn't see the Sentai, even if I didn't, I can tell that this shit was chopped together because the editing sucks. I can tell that certain shots don't match up.
Make a good point. Go ahead.
I can tell that the story doesn't match up. I would ask, why the hell are they pirates? I would ask, where did this team come from? I followed Power Rangers and I never saw this team. You know, stuff like that, where like if you knew nothing about Super Sentai, even if you were an avid follower of Power Rangers, you would have so many questions. You would have so many things about it that are like, that makes no sense. And I'm not saying this as a person who hates Power Rangers, because I like Power Rangers. I auditioned to be a Power Ranger. What do you think I like Power?
And we're going to drop a little hint about that at the end of this episode.
So I like Power Rangers. I followed it a lot. I know each one in subsequent order. So, yeah, I'm not saying this out of hate. I'm saying this like, yo, guys, you guys are really dropping the ball here. You really could have just fixed this like that. And everything would have been run as smooth as freaking butter on ice.
And you know, going back to the first episode, I remember that mentioning to you that they morph so fast through all those transformations that because in the Japanese, once again, they cover themselves well by mentioning the names. The announcer mentioned the like, you know, Oh Ranger, Dai Ranger, Maji Ranger.
Yeah.
You know, he just by that simple announcement, he covers himself like that. If a viewer has a question, who are these people? They can wiki it. They can Google it. In 2012, when that series came out, Google was around. Right? So you know, it was a smart and simple gimmick to get rid of it.
Yeah.
The American one, they transformed too many people. Don't even mention who they are. If they do, you're not even catch up because there's so many in such a short amount of time.
I mean, they'll call out like for this episode, they just kept calling out SPD because that was the one they were major in. But like for RPM, it was like, let's go RPM. All right, RPM, power up, and then gone. Like, so it's like later on when these fights get more and more quick, when the changes get quicker.
So you are going to be watching after this.
Anyway, as these get more and more. No, I'm saying this as for you guys who are watching it because I might not watch it anymore.
I won't.
I know he won't. Me, I might catch it on and be like, God, I'm not reviewing that, and then move along. Or if it pisses me off especially well, then I will. But you know what? Or if it's really good. If it's really, really good, if it surprises me, I will review it. I will.
Okay.
But you know what? That was the thing, though. It's like when this stuff is gonna get faster. The changes get faster from the Sentai footage because they start just going.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, I mean, it's almost run behind a pillar and then bam, change, and then they start to fight. So you gotta know who these characters are.
Oh, and well, you guys are a little fortunate because in the Gokaiger series, their favorite was Maji Ranger. And for those who don't know, that's Mystic Force. So that was their go-to. That was their unofficial go-to power. Like, they went straight to Maji.
Well, they had like so many spells.
Yeah,
it was so useful.
So you won't miss that much because that was their go-to ability, or rather power or key or whatever transformation. But all in all, guys, I can go on for days. Yeah. I think I hit the bulk of where I feel the problem is with this particular series, and I feel that it's a shame because it's so easy of a fix, but I can already tell. And in fact, you can probably jot down these. You're like, okay, from minute this and this to minute this and this, he was preaching the truth. Where they're not gonna really change the tone of it. It's gonna be so fast paced, a lot of it's not gonna make any sense, and it's gonna still be insulting to kids' intelligence. And I tell you this because I actually watch SPD, SPD, not Japanese, whatever they call it there, and I feel that was well written. Yeah, that was very well written for an American series, and it made a lot of sense. And I was like, that's good. That's where they need to go. But so my absolute thing on this series. I know you guys are saying, oh, it's only 2 episodes in. How can you diagnose it like that, or how can you claim it like this?
Yeah.
They're gonna continue it like this.
These were our draw-in episodes. These were the ones that were supposed to make us very interested in it. And you have so many holes like that.
Yeah,
you're not gonna start fixing them anytime soon.
No, you won't.
If this was something that was like if this was like The Following or like any other TV show where you have like seasons to like fix the tweaks and stuff, I'd be like, yeah, maybe it'll fix itself later. Right. But this is like what, 20 episodes, 22,
20 plus episodes. Let's give it
episodes. Yeah, and you've already started like this. You ain't gonna it's not very likely that you're gonna change everything by that. Highly unlikely.
Because your best episode that I only look forward to, and it's probably gonna be your episode, is the legendary one. Whenever that decides to pop up.
Oh, that's the end.
Right.
Yeah, that's the end.
Because even when they were in human form fighting the last boss in the Gokaiger, they were human. They were facing. You see that they were facing. Yeah. They can replay that, but the ending episode of the Gokaiger was really well.
Oh, and, really good.
When you transform and they do the transformation, which before we end this and we're about to close it off, that's another good thing. Why did they remove that transformation from the American? Yeah, the transformation that we're talking about is in the Japanese. I'm gonna sum it up really quick, guys. In Japanese, in order to in order to pretty much say that their 35th year anniversary, they will go through their transformations, like hitting them in Roman numerals. So it'll be the X will be the first one, which would be the black, all the black and the pyro motif. And then the second X would be the red. Yeah, the third X would be the helmet, and then the V would be like where the visor is. Yeah. So for them to kind of play it off for the American version, since it's 20, they just X like pretty much body and even helmet, and then the second X is kind of his visor. Yeah. So they still could have used a second part of the Japanese transformation. Yeah. Where Gokai Red will be like, Gokai Red, he'll flick off like his collar. Yeah. And then Gokai Blue, what is it?
Just kind of fixes his helmet.
Right. And then Gokai Yellow goes like this.
Gokai Green.
So you had these things where but you had these transformations where it's easily dubbed. There's absolutely no actual verbal talking, and would be very great for the actual one if you're gonna reshoot it. Where in the Japanese version, all they did is they just had the actor with helmetless and just doing that. And there'd been a really cool respect to the show itself, not the Super Sentai, but the show itself.
Yeah, there was a lot of that's pretty much. There's a lot of that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they could really have changed up, made it better, brought it to a more tight, and it's not a hard series to adapt. No, not at all.
Saban could have made a lot of money.
Oh, he could have made an ass ton of money. Right. Saban, we're looking out for you, bro. We're saying this so that you can make an ass.
I'm gonna stop it right there. It's too late. He's already filmed.
Oh yeah, he's already filmed all the episodes.
Sorry, bro. Dino Charge. Dino Charge, is it? Yes. Yeah, I know I got you mad, but I guess it's Dino Charge. And, I don't know.
Fuck it, I'm gonna wait for Dino Charge later. When that comes out, well, if I'm not on it, I'll be saying things. Right, well, yes, I am auditioning for it again, so anyway, go ahead.
But that's my rap for Super Megaforce and Gokaiger and Gokaiger and how I feel about it and how I feel like it's pretty much could have been a lot better. Super Megaforce could have easily paid his respects and. It's not about paying respects to a Japanese show. It's more about paying respects to its own the legacy of Power Rangers. It's very easily done. There was not much thought to it. It was, in a way, you messed up something that was kind of hard to mess up. Yeah. So that's my feeling on it. That's my rap on Super Megaforce. And
my thoughts on Super Megaforce right now are you guys are not heading in a very fun place. Yes, you have the fight scenes that will keep the kids entertained. You have the fight scenes that changed up a lot in Gokaiger that will help the kids, have the kids entertained and everything like that. But you don't have the story, man. You don't have the story. You had a chance to not only appeal to kids but adults, to really bring adults back in who watched the original Power Rangers and really impress them with the story, the action, the characters, and pretty much what you've done 20 years later. And that would have been a really good thing to do. But as of now, you guys have really dropped the ball on this. And I've even worked with other people and talked to them about my Super Megaforce, and they said, the new one? Ew, I just stick to the Japanese version. Right. See, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just like, how much money? You know how much money you would make if you not only appealed to the young kids, but the adults who remembered it when they were kids, and even the Japanese people, like the kids, the people like me who watch the Super Sentai are like,
wanted to be a Power Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I would be like, yo, I'll totally buy the localized American version of the Morphers, because that was cool too. I'd have both sets. And Bandai would have all my money. But that was the thing. I was just, there's so much you could have done with this, and you kind of just dropped the ball, and it's a huge disappointment. And that's pretty much my entire view of Super Megaforce as it is now. It is a huge disappointment where you guys could have excelled very well.
And with that being said, you know, it's true. Like a lot of kids, when they were growing up with this, they wanted to grow up and become, you know, either Power Rangers or involved in it. And I know when I see every once in a while Jason and Frank post, they have adult men and women be like, you know what, you're the reason why either I took karate or you know believe in good and all this. And it's not just Jason and Frank, even though he's like the advocate of Power Rangers, but you know, all in all, Power Rangers instills good morals in people, you know. And so with that being said, I believe Devin is, I don't know, Devin, I don't know if they're ready for a new Gokaiger. I don't I mean, what colors are there? We have red. Right, what else?
Blue, green, yellow, pink, silver.
There's silver. I think I saw a black and a purple.
I saw a black out there in the
but I don't know if they're ready for a white.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Are they ready for a white?
Are you guys ready for a white?
You guys ready for a White Ranger from Gokaiger?
I'm not saying someone in this room might be Gokaiger
white. Yeah,
white. Yeah. White's a good color. Yeah. Let's go with white. Yeah. But somebody could be
Gokaiger white.
A Gokaiger white.
Somebody could.
I'm not
saying who. No.
But yeah. So I have the distinct honor of helping Devin with possibly finding out who this mystery Gokaiger, you know, Gokaiger white or Gokai white is.
Yeah.
And whenever we find this guy, this perfect person for that, he'll be more than happy to go ahead and, you know, display that for you guys.
Oh yeah.
But until then, I'm done. Devin, do your send off.
Until next time, y'all. Peace.